Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dr. Trenese McNealy, and I am the CEO of Dr. Trenese L. McNealy, LLC, and Lachey's Design Boutique. I am also the author of Mommy's Goals versus Reality, Managing Schoolwork and Family, and the co-author of The Glamorous Guide to Being a Mompreneur in 2020. I just want to welcome everyone to part 3 of my virtual Lunch and Learn series, Maintaining a Successful Work-Life Balance. Before we get started, I always like to go to the chat and see who's on. So everyone, if you can go ahead, shout out your city, your state, whatever you want to shout out in the chat to all of our listeners. You can go ahead and do so, and I'll call you out throughout this session. What I want to do is go ahead and give the objective of my Lunch and Learn series so you all can just know what it's really about. I have this Lunch and Learn series so attendees can gain a better understanding of the strategies that have helped working mothers maintain a successful work-life balance. Attendees will leave each session with the knowledge needed to implement these same strategies in their life. Attendees can grab their lunch and join me and my special guest moms for an exciting free learning event. So I like to do this every other month, just so we can gather with other moms and get all of their best strategies that can help you as moms learn and just help yourself with this mom life that we have going on. What I want to do is go ahead and introduce our guest moms on today. We have Nneka Saran, who's also known as One Handy Momma. She is a wife, working mom of 3, twin daughters and a son. She is a DIYer and social media influencer who loves all things creative. By day, she works in corporate America, and at night and on weekends, she spends time working on DIY and home decor projects. Her goal is to inspire and show women we can do anything we set our minds to do. All right. Our next mom is Dr. Chanita Foster, who is a social change philanthropist focusing on marginalized and disenfranchised communities. She is an entrepreneur, bestseller author, speaker, success coach, and moderator with experience as policy advocate, communications specialist, and social sector expert. Dr. Foster is the founder of Beyond the Game, a 501c3 nonprofit entity, also registered in South Africa and Swaziland as an NGO, and her leadership stature and robust global impact has led her to become one of the first ever appointed American Brand Ambassador of Tourism of Zimbabwe, Dr. Foster. All right, and next we have Mimi Johnson, who is a celebrity makeup artist turned beautifulpreneur with a lifelong dream to bring her passions and talents to life while helping other women feel empowered and beautiful. Mimi is the owner of The Glamoratory, a vegan, cruelty-free makeup line and artist agency. She is also the creator of Grind Pretty, a community and subscription box for women in business. Mimi holds a BA in marketing from Clark Atlanta University and consults and creative directs campaigns, brands like Design Essentials and Hype Hair. She is also a member of Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated and a mother of 1. Mimi Johnson. All right, let's see if any of our other moms have joined. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and get started with the panel discussion questions. As I mentioned, we're still waiting on 2 more moms to join. So once they join, we'll go ahead and introduce them. But I wanted to start off with the first question to Mimi. How has being a working mom impacted you mentally, physically, and spiritually? What strategies have helped you to maintain a successful work-life balance? Tell us your story about mom life, and you have 5 minutes. Yeah, okay. Let me Um, okay.
All right. Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes, we can hear you.
Hey, everybody. Yeah, and I apologize in advance. I'm actually on set right now. So I'm sneaking on a little break. But I'm happy to be here and thank you for asking me to be here. I will say being an entrepreneur and a mom at the same time can be very challenging, especially in the environment that we're in right now. I've also become a teacher at home. So I'm still homeschooling and working at the same time. So what I will say is I wouldn't be able to do this without the support system that I have. So that's my number one is having that support system to support you because it's a lot of mental anguish that happens when you're stretched in so many different areas. But one thing that I've really done during this pandemic is really pause and take a pulse on what your priorities really are, because a lot of times as entrepreneurs it's hard for us to turn down jobs and money and opportunity. Now is being more strategic with the opportunities and the jobs. I'm not doing makeup as much as I used to. I'm very strategic on when I do take clients. My goal is to do things that, in essence, you're uh, working smarter, not harder. So I would say just have the right support system. Don't take on everything. Be very intentional on what you're taking on, and make time for yourself. You're no good to your business or your family if you aren't okay. So that's my piece there.
Okay, great, great. So next I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Foster. I'm going to ask you the same question. How has being a working mom impacted you mentally, physically, and spiritually? What strategies have helped you to maintain a successful work-life balance? Tell us your story about mom life.
Okay. Hey, hello everybody. I see Mimi jumped off. Hey, Mimi. I had to ask her, did I do my makeup good? Mimi has done my makeup in the past. I've done it today. But I'm excited to be here. Hey to all the moms. So listen, this mom life and entrepreneurship, I really believe for me, what has really worked and still works to this day is really getting my children involved in my work. My friends like to make jokes that I'm going against child labor laws. But ever since they were really small, in whatever capacity that I could include them in when it came to my work, is exactly what I have done. So I think if you're a mom and you're an entrepreneur and you are trying to figure it out, a big thing that can assist you is helping your kids to gain a greater knowledge of exactly what it is that you do and what it is that it takes for you to be successful. I know a lot of times people believe that, oh, my children shouldn't be involved in adult work, or they shouldn't know the stresses that I have as an entrepreneur. But I think that when children have a greater understanding, number one, of where the money comes from, I think my children have a clear, defined understanding that when I make money, they get to spend money. So they have this clear, defined line of how I make money and how money flows into our household. So they know that the more successful I am, the more rewards they receive, which leads me to the next thing as far as having them involved. Whether it is putting the labels on a package, whether it's me teaching them, my kids know how to input some emails, how to input email addresses into a form, it allows them to be involved in the process. So now they can understand my ups, my downs, my highs, and my lows because they experience with me. Last but not least, I give them rewards. This week has been a great week for one of my businesses, and my children understand that the more successful we are, and the more that they're a part of that journey, that I can reward them through the process. So they're cheering, they're excited, they want to hit the number, they want to get this sale because they're involved. So I think for me, my entrepreneurship journey has been a good one because my kids have been involved every step of the way. And now I see them wanting to become entrepreneurs. Like when they're ready to make money, they're willing to sell something or do, I don't know how. My youngest made like $70 the other day at my mom's job, but she was selling, I'm like, what kind of bracelets you selling where you made $70? So just getting them involved in the process and understanding. I think that's important, moms. Allow them to know what your work entails because they'll be able to tell you, oh, Sally, she didn't help you pack the packages today. Ooh, it wasn't a good day, or, you know, you didn't get enough emails. So as long as they're involved in the process.
Yes, that is great. Great advice. So now I am going to ask the same question to Nneka. How has being a working mom impacted you mentally, physically, and spiritually? What strategies have helped you to maintain a successful work-life balance? Tell us your story about mom life.
Okay. Hey guys. So I'm Nneka. And I would say that, well, first of all, the whole 2020 is like something totally different. I mean, we all have experienced it. It's definitely been a challenge, especially initially with virtual school and still, both me and my husband work in corporate America. So we were able to work from home, which was a blessing, but it was also challenging because now we were thrown into, like everyone else, having to also be teachers and having the kids around all the time. So, and we have three. So I have, the girls, when everything started, they were in kindergarten. So I had to kind of manage them. And then also I have a 3-year-old who was in daycare, but we took him out when everything hit, and he hasn't gone back since. So it's like we're juggling 3 kids and then work literally, like at work, I manage a lot of virtual events. So my workload like tripled at that time. So I pretty much had like this huge workload, plus having to manage kids at home, plus now not having the time, like even like driving home from work was like a relief. Like I get to talk on the phone, I make my calls, talk to my friends, then you get home, you have to do what you have to do for the kids, and you have your downtime at home. But like just the commute to work in the morning, that's like a break, from kids. And so you don't get that anymore because they're always around. And it's like, I love my kids, we all love our children, but we do need breaks. So for me, I learned that I had to also make sure during this time, especially, that I worked in time to do things that I still enjoy and things that also give me a break from the kids. So my husband and I, we would kind of give each other, like, he would watch the kids while I'm able to do things that I like to do for a little bit of time, just to kind of give each other that break. So having a support system, like Mimi said, it has been very, very important in kind of managing during this time, especially. Also, my sister, my younger sister, ended up moving here in September to help us out with the kids. So that's been a huge help for us. It's been a blessing because I have family. I'm in the Philadelphia area. I have family here, but all my cousins, they all have their own kids, all have their own stuff going on. So we really don't have help. I'm originally from Virginia. My husband's from Alabama. That's where our parents are. So we can't just drop them off at the grandparents' house. We can't just take them over to my sister's house or something like that. So we have to really find ways to kind of get those breaks. So that's been helpful. And then, honestly, probably like a lot of people on this call, I have been more so than ever relying on prayer and spending time with God, because 2020 has been on a whole different level for us all. And it's something that none of us have ever experienced. And then you throw in also having to manage and juggle kids and try to keep them sane and still create experiences for them when we can't like just go to the amusement park. We can't like do all the things we used to do to kind of get those breaks. So we try to create experiences at home and do the best we can.
Yes, I am so in agreement with that. as a mom, you really have to have time for yourself. You have to have those breaks. So yes, I'm glad you mentioned that for all of the moms listening on today. I just want to go ahead and shout out some of our guests. We have Chanita from Fredericksburg, Virginia. That's my sister. Hey, Chanita. And also my other sister from Marcella from Riceboro, Georgia, who's residing in Maryland. She's on. And we have Jamila from Philly. She's on as well. So thank you, ladies, for joining in on this conversation. Next, we have Dr. Kendra. I'm going to briefly introduce Dr. Kendra. Dr. Kendra is also known as your OB-GYN next door, who is a board certified OB-GYN in Southern California, with a heart to help women inside and outside of her office. Dr. Kendra works towards leading women to take control of their health by becoming healthy and empowered, which allows her to be considered real, realistic, and authentic. Let's welcome Dr. Kendra. And I'm going to ask you the same question that I have asked all of the other moms. How has being a working mom impacted you mentally, physically, and spiritually? What strategies have helped you to maintain a successful work-life balance? Tell us your story about mom life.
Well, thank you for having me. Hello, everybody that's on the panel. It's an honor to be a part of this group because being a mom, the journey to motherhood wasn't easy for me, and it was a miracle that I am a mother. And so I just want to say that my respect for women has gone up even more just by me experiencing motherhood. Me being an OB-GYN for more than 9 years now, I've always had respect for women, but there's things that, people really don't pay attention to. Women that are mothers aren't treated the best in the workplace. Me having my own personal experiences with, being a working mom has really opened my eyes and has helped me have, sympathy to women who are working, because I too have experienced some of the hardships that go with trying to have a career in being a mom. So the things I can talk a lot, but I'm just gonna just try to answer what I've learned. My baby is 16 months. And I'm a physician as well as my husband's a physician. So this has been a stressful time because of COVID and childcare, and so I've had to quarantine at least twice, and I have a small family, and it was kind of hard to find help, especially when I'm quarantining. And so, I realized at that moment that, Kendra, you need to ask for help and you need to enlarge your tribe. Because, the caretakers that I did have, again, anything can happen to people. People can get hurt, sick themselves. And it's like, okay, well, who's going to watch my child now that I'm working more because it's a pandemic? So it was a very humbling experience. I tell you, ladies, it was I felt isolated because I normally don't ask for help. I'm the type of person I like to manage things on my own, but being a mother will humble you. Being a new mother will humble you. And I was forced to step outside my comfort zone and asking for help. And guess what? Through prayer, God sent me people, and I can start crying now, God enlarged my tribe. So me working during this pandemic, my husband working during this pandemic, and our village is enlarged. And I have to tell you, medicine is humbling and motherhood is humbling. So both combined with this pandemic and me being a new mom, I have a whole new respect for caretakers, friends and family that stepped up and stepped in. But it started with me asking for help. So that is the first thing that I advise any new mother. Ask for help, please.
Yes, thank you for that. Because as a mom, we have to have that help. Just regardless, whatever the situation is, sometimes we may feel like we don't want to seek that help, but we have to have that help for us in order to have that mental stability. So Thank you for sharing your story. So now what I'm going to do is open it up for a Q&A. We did have some of our attendees to send us questions. So I'm going to open it up for the panel to join. The first question is from Jamila Anderson out of Philadelphia. And her question is, what is the most important thing to remember when the going gets tough and you feel like you have to make a choice between being a mom and having a job or being an entrepreneur? So I'm going to ask all of our panelists to unmute and join in this discussion. Okay. And Dr. Foster in here. Okay. So we can start with you, Dr. Kendra, with that first question. What is the most important thing to remember when the going gets tough and you feel like you have to make a choice between being a mom and having a job or being an entrepreneur?
Well, one of the first lessons I learned, especially for me, that I'm an older new mother. And so I've had all these years of just focusing on my career. And my career comes first. My patients come first. And in the field of medicine, you know, as you come to work sick, you know, this pandemic now has kind of changed the culture, because now if you're sick, you stay home. But prior to this pandemic, you come and if you have to come in with an IV pole, okay, because you need fluids. You come in, you see your patients, because there's women waiting to have surgery for months. And so you don't get to be sick. I don't get to be sick. And being a mother, I realized, you know what? My baby comes first. And everything else is second. And it sounds easy. It sounds easy to say, oh, your family comes first, but no. A lot of us, we want to do it all. You know, if you have a business, you know, you want to tend to it, especially if there's an issue going on. With my job, you know, I spend a lot of hours, you know, it's not a 9 to 5. And so there's guilt. There's, you know, while I'm with my child, I'm like, oh my God, I used to be doing this and that. But at the end of the day, what I've learned just from other mothers is that you work your life, or you work your job around your family. And once I figured that out, it kind of made it a little easier. So I'm in the process of shaping my work life, shaping some businesses that I have going on around my son, because if he's happy, I'm happy. And so that I had to retrain my thinking, because I'm so used to being ambitious and worried about my career and what I'm going to do. But now I'm in the process of restructuring things, and it feels great.
Yeah. Dr. Foster, you have a follow-up response? Do you have a follow-up?
One more time?
Do you have a follow-up response that you would like to add?
What she said. No. Exactly. I feel that. I think it's everything that she said, but I use the method, I call it the WIN formula in our house. So I don't know if you guys follow me, but we are a huge sports family. My kid's father played in the NFL. My sister's husband plays in the NBA. My other sister's husband coaches in the NFL. All of us are All-American volleyball players. So our household is really ran like a team. And I always try to explain to them that for everything to function and to work, we have to operate as a team. And I use the WIN formula, which is what's important now. And that's what I purposely and personally use for myself. What is important now? And I've just found throughout my career and being a mom, at different times, at different stages, there's different things that are important. And I think people hear me say it a lot, and some people get frustrated, but I say my kids are not the most important thing on my list some days. They're just not, you know, like Kendra said, thank God I have an amazing support system. My mom has moved in. My mom lives in my house. So Nana is here, and I have a whole tribe of people that actually help me to be successful. But I have to use the WIN formula. And the WIN formula for me, especially as an entrepreneur, a mom, a significant other, is what's important now. And sometimes that doesn't mean the housework. You can come in my house. I tell people all the time, if you come in to look at my house, call ahead so we can clean up for you. But if you come in to visit, then come on in, because that means the laundry might not be done, the dishes might not be done. You know, it's a difference. Cleaning my house is not what's important to me all the time. Dealing with my children is not what's important to me all the time. Sometimes my job has to be the first thing on my list, and it might just be for that season or that week or that day. Then there's a time where I need to be 100% mommy. I tell the people, my job, my customers, my friends, my clients, I need to deal with just my children. I'm gonna shut off my phone. This is my kids' time. And then there's times where, you know, hey, you gotta be a significant other and do that. So when people talk about this balance, there really is no balance. You have to do what's important. And I just want to reiterate again, my house not clean. I don't know what they be doing on Instagram. I don't know who they pay. I need whatever cleaning services that just come and keep their whole house clean, because I have never been able to accomplish it as long as I've been a mom. I've never walked in my laundry room and not had laundry. I've never went in the kitchen and not had dishes in the sink. We got 7 bathrooms in my house. They found a way to make sure they make 7 bathrooms dirty. So even if you're a guest and you come visit the bath, I'm like, do we have 1 bathroom clean so this person can go to the bathroom? So I think as moms, people forget that. They just think we wear this Superwoman cape and everything is just so perfect. And last but not least, I know that I'm long-winded, but I just want to reiterate for moms that it's okay that everything is not like perfect. It's okay if you go to bed and the dishes not done and the laundry not clean, and how it's okay if you don't comb your kids' hair for one day, they're not gonna die. It's okay, just leave them alone. I comb their hair for Instagram. I don't comb their hair every 5 seconds. It's okay. It's okay if they got a stain on their shirt. I don't know these new age people, but my kids don't stay clean. I got 6 kids. I don't know how y'all keep these kids clean, but mine gonna drop a popsicle, some juice, an apple, a raisin. It's okay. So I just wanted to say that because I think social media, they get confused with the controlled content. We are controlling the content that you see. And if you're really good at it, you got some great content that you're controlling. I don't really post my kids with their hair combed, but I can call any one of them right now and they look crazy, homeless, and 2 steps away from looking like a crackhead. And if it wasn't for y'all today, I wouldn't really look like this. This is not what motherhood looks like. I don't wear a wig in the house. I don't wear eyelashes in the house. And so I didn't know if this is my last speak, but I just want moms to be okay with that, because there's this pressure that we have to live with that society is putting on us that is really unfair, that daddy don't get this kind of pressure. And as mommy, we get that kind of pressure. So I just wanted to say that. Y'all better get off my back.
Great. Nneka, you would like to follow up with a response?
Yeah, no, basically what Kendra and Chanita said, I agree with all the way. I love what Chanita said about what's important now, because I think that's literally what it's about. Like, one thing I had to realize, especially when I was a new mom of twins. So I came, in the gate, like with 2 at the same time. So it was a lot. And I still had, entrepreneurial dreams and aspirational things I wanted to do. And I think moms have to realize that just because you may have to put some things on hold, while your kids are younger, you can't do everything. There are sacrifices that have to be made when you become a mother. It's just a fact. But that doesn't mean that you still can't get to your goal. You just may have to hold off a little bit on some things. Or work a little bit at a time. Like, you can do stuff like when the kids go to sleep, if you're really passionate about something, you're going to find a little bit of time here and there to work on it a little bit. So I think that it's important that moms know that it's okay if you can't, do everything right when you have children, or in the beginning, you know, when they need a little bit more of your attention, you know. And I agree wholeheartedly with Chanita in terms of like, you know, I was never a neat freak in the beginning, so I don't really have a problem with seeing, you know, a mess or dishes in the sink anyway. But I really don't care now. Like, I just can't. It's just too much. Like, it annoys me when the house is a mess, but if I don't have time to clean it, I ain't getting clean. Like, it'll get clean when I got time, you know? So I think you have to kind of adopt that, or else you may drive yourself crazy.
Yes, exactly. So this next question is for you as well. It's from Sabrina Balwa out of Richmond, Virginia. And she asks, if you could outsource anything you have to do as a mom, influencer, employee, and a wife, what would it be?
So for me, I always tell people, like, if you have it, if you can afford to, build in your budget, help with cleaning the house. Or for me, like, we have people that, well, not really now because of COVID, but eventually I'll get back to it. But my main thing, I absolutely hate laundry. And I feel like now that we have 3 kids and there's 5 of us, like, the laundry, it just literally never ends. If I pan my computer over right now, you'll see like my whole ottoman just is full of laundry. It's like everywhere. And so we hired someone to help do the laundry and put clothes away. So I think you like figure out the things that are really like pain points for you, and working into your budget, if you can afford to get someone to help. So that would be definitely one thing. And then the other thing for us, as I stated before, we're not from where we currently live in the Philadelphia area. So we don't have, you know, grandparents around to just kind of, you know, toss the kids over to. So we had to hire help. Luckily the kids are getting a little older, so they're a little more self-sufficient now. But like before, we would, like, if we wanted to do a project around the house or something, we would literally hire a babysitter to come in and watch the kids while we're outside doing a project, you know. So like hire, and like Kendra said before, like ask for help. You know, if you don't have to pay for it, that's even better. But, you know, in our case, we had to pay for it. So that's something, those are 2 things I definitely suggest. If you have to pay for it, hire help, do your, you know, if you date nights with your spouse or your significant other, girlfriend, hangouts, all that. Get somebody to watch the kids and get your peace.
Okay, so speaking of housework, this next question comes from Miranda Belthrout out of Orlando, Florida. Her question is, how do you get the housework done and not neglect it while doing other tasks?
Girl, I don't claim, listen. It isn't, depending on how old your kids are, people think I'm crazy. If you really just want to get something done in your house, we get you a timer or use your phone. Don't talk about me. When I used to watch TV, whatever I could get done during the commercials of my favorite TV show, that's what I would get done. But I don't watch too much TV no more. Now I set a timer for 30 minutes. Whatever I get done in 30 minutes, sometimes an hour, is really it. I think that I've traveled the world, and when you travel to other places as much as I can, in America, we're the only people that live in these big old houses with all of this stuff in it, and we collect these things. I know some very wealthy people around the world where when you walk in their house, it looks so empty and so neat, but they just sleep in their house. It's not like their house is everything. They believe that you go out into the world and that's where you're supposed to live. Now, I know we're on lockdown, so it's a little different, and a mindset shift. But I believe that if you spend so much time cleaning your house, you're not going to be able to write that book. If you clean so much, work on cleaning your house, you're not going to be able to start that blog. If you clean and pay attention so much to your house, you're not going to be able to start that business. And I know people who spend 2, 3, 4 hours cleaning the house, and my thing is, a lot of us don't even like company. So who coming to see it? Like, a lot of us funny acting like, girl, I don't want nobody in my house. I don't want you over here. What are we cleaning for anyway if nobody is coming over to come to your house? You don't even let them walk all the way around because all of us think people steal, and we don't want you all through our house and in every room. So you really limited to like only 2 rooms when you walk in the house. And so my mind has just changed over the years. I'm trying to keep 1 guest bathroom clean, so when you walk in, you got 1 bathroom and that 1 area where people can sit. And I think when you just let that part go, she said outsource cleaning. cleaning people be expensive. I wish I could. That's one thing. I'm gonna save all my money. I'm gonna get me a cleaning person. But the cleaning thing, out the door. If I go outsource something, and which I do, is I have somebody take my children everywhere. I hate driving. I hate traffic. I don't want to sit in traffic. And when your kids get older, they got volleyball, baseball, cheerleading, art class, school play, all of this stuff that you got to go and sit in a parking lot for like 2 hours. And I feel like I'm wasting so many hours of my life that I could be doing something else. So I have outsourced, and I know it's hard for other people because you're like, I don't know them or whatever, but I found parents to be my support system for my children, where I never see an extracurricular activity until it's time for awards day or the actual performance. So that allows me to not sit in the parking lot. But I'm telling y'all, some of y'all, like your kids, you be like, my kid is in the school play, but you got to drive them to the school play and sit in the parking lot while they rehearse for like an hour and do nothing. And that could be time that you could be doing with something else. I became best friends with everybody that my kids have an activity with. And I pay those parents, not necessarily a set amount, but people like Cash App. I'd be like, ooh, let me send you a blessing seed. Let me send you some gas money. Ooh, girl, let me send you some dinner money for picking up and dropping off my kids. So that's the one thing in this house that I was spending dollars for. I outsource for somebody to take my kids everywhere they have to go. Everywhere, even to the playground.
Dr. Kendra, would you like to respond? Oh, you're muted.
I'm just enjoying just all the comments. Can you repeat the question? Because I was just cracking up.
Yes. Yes. The question is, how do you get the housework done and not neglect it while you're doing other tasks?
So I'm going to keep it 100. Okay. So, me and my husband, we both work long hours. So I have somebody who I trust that comes in when I'm not here. We have a system where she can get in the house and she cleans. And also I've just automated, cleaning my dogs, getting mobile pet service. So right now I'm in the process of automating as many things as I can. Remember, guys, I'm a new mother, so I'm still trying to figure it out. So my next goal is to automate, having somebody clean my car. Okay. Me and my husband, we just don't have time to sit in a car wash, especially now, I was busy before I had Heart. And, I thought like, wow, I'm super busy. And then now that I have a child, a baby, there's no time. So now I'm trying to think, how can I streamline my life? So God bless me with a personal assistant who I trust. So I have that on board, and, I just need help. And, at first I'm thinking, okay, Kendra, don't be lazy. You need to do this. But no, God will send people. When you start thinking, when you start praying and meditating and putting it out there in the universe that I need to enlarge my village, people will come into your life and say, do you need help? Do you need help? And remember, the first rule, ladies, especially if you're type A personality control freak, is let people help you. Let people help you. The Holy Spirit will give you discernment of who to let into your tribe, right? Because, a personal assistant and people cleaning your house, they know all your business, but discernment from the Holy Spirit, okay? But having that spirit of receptiveness, that yes, I need help. If I want to continue to be a physician and care for my patients, if I want to continue to do other business ventures because I want to help women from inside out, head to toe, if I want to continue to actually, be there for my baby and be a wife, then I do need to streamline things. And so I think that is key. And yes, things do cost, but everything costs. And we actually all spend money. It's just what you're spending money on. You'd be surprised. A lot of people eat out. A lot of people, hair, a lot of, my patients tell me, I can't afford it. You can't afford this medication that you need for your vagina, but you got the iPhone 11. Hell, you got the iPhone 12 and that's not even out yet. So we're all spending money. You just got to look at how you're spending money and what is important for you.
Yes. Well, thank you, ladies, for your responses to the panel discussion question. As we close out this Lunch and Learn series part 3 on today, I want to ask you all this last question. What do you have upcoming, and how can our audience connect with you? And we can start with you, Dr. Foster.
Hey, so what I have upcoming, I'm about to start begging y'all. I am headed to Ghana for a water project. I'm actually digging 2 water wells in Ghana. Typically, I'm in Swaziland during Christmas, and I give those kids Christmas. My children have come. This year, I partnered with the KJM Foundation. I did a lot of research with them because a lot of times, if I don't live in a country or I haven't been there multiple times, I'm very skeptical about spending money. But he approached me and said, listen, let's go half on 2 water wells for Christmas. So I'm heading to Ghana December 1st through 6th. I'm asking people $10. I'm asking people to sow a $10 seed into our water well. You can Cash App. It's BTG programs. So Beyond the Game, BTG programs. $10 changes a life. Whatever we don't come up with, of course, I'm going to pay. And then we're doing $100 legacy seed. If you sow $100, we're leaving your name on the actual water well. So typically they just put one name on it, but I thought it would be so awesome to leave whoever donated $100 their name on legacy in another country. So that's what I have coming up. For Christmas, I have a new book coming out called The Heart of a Hustler. It's on pre-sale, and it's about everybody's born with a heart, but everybody doesn't know how to hustle. And that's one of the number one questions I get all the time, like, how do you hustle? How do you keep going? A lot of people have watched my journey. I had money, I lost money, I had money, I lost it again. This time I ain't gonna lose it again, okay? It's like, I don't know what's wrong with me. And it's not that I lose it, it's I give it away. That's being very transparent. I've never really lost money except for when the stock market crashed. I lost that $3.5 million because, you know, they hit one button and just say all of us lost our money. I will never understand that. But it's been a journey and people want to know things. And so I wrote the book, Heart of a Hustler, just to teach some people some key things that you need to have in your life in order to just continue to be successful. And I think that's it. My coaching, I still coach people every Tuesday and Thursday. I coach people for $25. People think I'm crazy. I'm gonna change the price one day. But I believe the people that need the most information are not the people that's paying $5.99 or $1,000 or $5,000 to sit in a millionaire mastermind. It's those people that are starting their home businesses, or those people that are having relationship or marital issues that just need some type of coaching, but they don't have a lot of money to actually get the answers they need. So I still do coaching Tuesdays and Thursdays. And last but not least, tax season is coming. And yes, I own a tax business. It's a family-owned business. We have 36 offices, and I just feel like you got to die and you got to pay taxes. So it don't matter who the president is, Democrat, Republic. It don't matter if we're in a recession or not. If we're in a full-fledged war, Uncle Sam wants his money. And so I joined our family business, and I have a tax office here in Georgia. And so tax season is coming up. So that's it. Everywhere I can be found is Chanita Foster. So Chanita Foster, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat, all that stuff that my kids sent me. Oh, TikTok. My kids put me on TikTok. Is Chanita Foster. And thank you so much for having me. And I know I talk a lot. Hey, Kendra. Hey, Nneka. It's good to hook up with other moms. I don't get to have like mommy dates, so this is good for me. So thank you so much.
Okay. Dr. Kendra.
Thank you for having me, Dr. Trenese. Like, it's a pleasure just to get in the game with other mothers who are doing things. And as for me, what's happening now for me is in the light of, what's happening just with the world. We're in the middle of a civil rights movement part 2, if you really think about it. And the COVID pandemic, I've teamed up with another physician, Dr. Britton. We have a YouTube, we have an Instagram called Doctors Ken and 10, and we have merchandise out, t-shirts, pants, anything you would need, paraphernalia. And we have that because the money that we're going to get from that is going into mentoring minorities to get into medicine. Representation matters, and this pandemic has blown the cover off what I've known in medicine, as far as having women in medicine and doctors that look like the patients. And so my heart is for mentoring young women and men who are minorities to get into medicine, or really anything. And so we're really pushing for that. So you can follow us at Doctors Ken and 10. We're on IG, we're on Facebook. And of course, further down the line is I'm going to be writing a book of my journey to motherhood. And, I've been delivering babies and helping women with infertility for years. And, and here I am, a mother. And so, journey to family is different for everyone. And fertility, is not covered by insurance. So I'm also working on having a nonprofit to help pay for fertility drugs until insurance can pick that up for us. And with, being, I'm African-American, and, fibroids is one of the leading causes of infertility for African-American women. And that adds to depression, anxiety. It leads to loss of jobs for women. It leads to loss of relationships. And I think it's overlooked. And it's a topic that makes people uncomfortable. And again, the healthcare system doesn't recognize that for women, because if they did, they would cover for these drugs. They would cover for more research into fibroids, which we did. We did get a lot of money this year, so I am grateful for that. But more work needs to be done because, like I said, anxiety and depression in the African-American community or community of color, we have to think about that. At least 13 to 15% of women suffer from some form of infertility or subfertility. So that's a passion of mine. And again, telling my journey, telling my story, and letting women know that the journey to family is different for everybody. Not everybody's going to have a baby out their vagina, but there's different ways to go about it. And I'm excited about that. So you guys can find me at Dr. Kendra MD. I'm really active on IG. I try to answer questions. At least I'll get back to you guys within a week because I am for the people, as far as, a lot of women will message me to say, hey, Dr. Kendra, my doctor said this, does that sound right? I'm all about health education, and not a lot of people have access to a doctor to get second opinions. And so that's why I really take the virtual platform seriously. And I hope to hear from you ladies, and I'm glad to connect to the women on the panel today.
Great, thank you. And Ms. Mosley.
Yes. So yeah, I love what you're doing, Kendra. I'm in that percentage of people who had to, had dealt with infertility. So, and now I have 3 children. So it's a blessing, and it's definitely a journey. So I love that. As for me, you can find me on Instagram at One Handy Mama. I am working on an ebook teaching women how to be handy. And also excited about, getting past COVID and getting back to in-person events. I hosted a lot of events for moms, specifically to give moms a chance to kind of get away from their kids and take a break. So I'm looking forward to getting back to conferences and brunches and all that stuff for moms.
Okay, great. So in closing, again, I would like to thank all of our attendees. I'd like to thank, moms for joining in this panel discussion. For those of you who would like to attend part 4, that will be held on January the 16th. So you can register on Eventbrite for that event. If you would like to follow me, you can follow me at Dr. Trenese McNealy on Facebook, Instagram. Up next for myself, I'm actually working on my next book, A Mother's Struggle Towards Success. So any mothers out there who have a story, I know there's a lot of mothers who have struggled in the past to become the successful woman they are today. So if you have that story and you would like to share it anonymously in my upcoming book project, feel free to reach out to me. So that's my next project. And then also for Mother's Day of next year, I know due to COVID, I had to cancel the in-person event, but I will be hosting a virtual Mother's Day luncheon. It's my Mommies and Mimosas Mother's Day luncheon. So anyone who would like to attend that virtual event, you can find it on Eventbrite as well. So again, thank you everyone for participating in this virtual Lunch and Learn series. And I hope you all enjoy the rest of your day. You all take care. Bye-bye.